and gentlemen, broadcasting live
Let's go, baby!
from Dallas, Texas.
No puppies. I need a dog to make a play.
Presented by the law firm of Vincent Carrizales.
It's time for football.
It's Paco's Locker Room Talk.
What a day, what a day, what a day.
What a day, what a day, what a day. 9/11 flashbacks.
Yeah, well.
Welcome, Dave Lucas, one-time Super Bowl winner, two-time Super Bowl winner, Billy Davis. Both wideouts from the Dallas Cowboys are my guests today, and we've got a lot to talk about today, guys.
There's a lot to talk about. Absolutely, absolutely. We'll let you lead the way and let's talk away.
Billy, or Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. How long?
First of all, for my family, Paco is the only one that call me Dave. My name is David Lucas. That's why we on that point right now. Because my family just really like, who is Dave? Okay, so that's what it is. Everybody know me as David,
right.
but Paco knows me as Dave. So
We're cool like that.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
But that's because we friends like
That's
that.
right.
We've been around
That's
each other
right.
for a long time, maybe 26 years, 27 years. Because I was coming out here before I started playing. Cause
Yeah.
Kenny Gant was my brother. Is my brother-in-law.
There we go.
And from back in the day, so at that particular time, he was dating my sister. So I was coming out here before I even started playing out here. So I was able to see a couple of things, how Dallas did it, and
Good things or bad things? I'm sorry.
everything was always good to me. I never really saw the bad in Dallas.
Well,
that
at
particular
your
time.
age,
I'm coming
you
from
didn't-
college though.
That's
so-
right, but at your age, you thought it was good, but really it was bad
Well-
because it was trying to do the wrong thing the right way.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I thought we did everything pretty well back
Okay.
then,
All right.
And we didn't have no whole bunch of problems, and that's the main thing. You had a coach in Jimmy Johnson that say, we play hard, we party hard. That's what we
Okay.
did.
All right.
We did both of those things, and we came to practice. You have your ass at practice tomorrow. That was the main. That was the main game. Of the Dallas Cowboys at that particular time. So, yeah, I young coming out here. I saw how everybody was able to move around and still handle their business on the football field. Everybody got their own life, so at the end of the day, you got to
Everybody
live
had a
it.
good time.
That's right.
Okay, you came in 92.
I came in 92.
92. And Billy, you came in 95, right?
Correct. Yep.
Out of
University
El
Pittsburgh,
Paso.
El Paso, Texas. Unfortunately, El Paso's so strong, still strong, baby.
Yes.
And that culture, obviously, that whole '90s culture bled over into all the championships because you have the same core individuals with the same mentality and that same culture. So, yeah, I was blessed enough to play 7 years in the NFL. Got 2 Super Bowls, one of a few people who got one in the AFC and the NFC. Of course, El Paso. I was born with a star in my crib, so obviously the one that I covet the most is the one that I'm wearing. Okay. And on this day of remembrance, I remember exactly where I was leaving. That's a great picture of me, Mike, right there. But I'm also remembering some of my other guys. I found this jersey, which is pretty amazing. One of the last jerseys, this is 71. If you guys don't know, this is one of the true Warriors. This is Mark Tuinei.
Mark Tuinei, the great Mark Tuinei.
The great Mark Tuinei, one of my best friends, one of the guys who openly welcomed me. That's one of the things about the Dallas Cowboys, at least that 90s team, that I guess we're seeing a little bit about this current era, is that you kind of see that people really give a shit about each other. Yeah. There's some camaraderie. I see some true value of when someone gets along with someone.
Yes. Yes.
Or at least respects each other. Yes. And to that point, it's exciting times. It's a one game sample, but that one game is a great sample. So far so good.
Well, that was my next question. Billy was talking about 911. Do you remember where you were that day?
Yep, that was actually my first year retired from playing football, and I was working at Citigroup Financial.
Okay.
Yeah, I was working at Citigroup Financial when that happened, and it was a pretty long day.
Yeah. Did
yeah.
you get to see it live?
Well, yeah, because you find out about stuff by the TV. You had in the room in the break room.
Right.
So people were coming out, and you heard people crying, and then people start using the phones, trying to get the people. And I'm sitting down at my desk, so I'm not really knowing what's going on. And then I find out Well, unfortunately, the only person I had up there was my youngest son at that particular time, but he wasn't in New York City. He was out on the side in Westchester.
Okay.
So, it wasn't major right there. But the bottom line is, a lot of people lost their lives, and we appreciate the ones that that died for us and the ones that
Yes.
helped the ones that could make it. So,
Yes.
at the end of the day, 911 is still gonna be remembered for the rest of our lives.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. You, Billy, you remember where you were when?
Oh, yeah, I was here in Dallas. I remember I was recovering from, I tore my, because I just got off that Super Bowl run with the Ravens. And I was about to go to the Raiders. I was taking a year off. And I had talked to Chris Carter, because Chris Carter was big into Bikram yoga. So he was doing all this, the sweat yoga. And
Yeah.
at the time, it was just starting to take off. And I had been to LA. I've been worked out with Bikram. And I was here right on Mockingbird. There was this new studio, just brand. I think it's the first studio, might still be there, that had this yoga. So I was trying to get my knee back together.
Right.
And I remember, and I'm not really a morning person, and but I had committed. I was taking this thing 2 times a day. And, it's football players are usually guys who can overdo things. So I fully committed myself to being a yogi.
Right.
Because I wanted to, find my way back. It was a lot of therapeutic benefits from it. But nonetheless, I can remember after that, we left it, you're all in your Zen moment. And this is why I'll never forget it. You're in that peaceful place. And I'm looking at television, it looked like and I just moved back from Hollywood. I was going to Hollywood doing
I remember when you went.
and
went out to LA.
I did a couple movies, and I was sitting there like, come on, man, what is this? This looks like a stage, like the staged, or this was like a setup. And it was, and usually, sometimes, reality is you can't fake reality. So it was something that you remember very starkly, and and obviously you show your respects and pay remembrance to those who gave so much
Yeah.
and got violated so quickly. So
Man,
it's
yeah, a
unfortunate.
lot of tears. I mean, it definitely affected everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought of, every time that I'd see that movie, the day the earth stood still, it reminds me of 911 because everything stopped. All the
Yeah.
flights were grounded.
Surreal.
And yeah.
The culture of moving around in life as we now know it
Yeah.
has completely changed. I mean, we can remember it, and it's heavy, but it's almost like that was, there's very few times in life you can look at something in life,
Right.
and look back and can describe the day that everything that you knew before that day, that living life has completely changed from that day on.
Yes.
I mean, I can remember in El Paso running, and I would just run through the
airport.
through the airport, run right through the metal detector.
You're right.
And they'd be like, "Hey, sir," like, "Hey, man, I got somewhere to
I'm trying to
be.
catch
I got somewhere to be before the door closes." I jump in there, stopping the plane. Hey, turn that plane back around, because you use your little notoriety. They
Yes.
turn the plane back around. You get back. I mean, and it was, the world changed, and it's amazing. People make jokes about pre-social media to now, but that's been a transition that you educated in. That is the day that life as you knew it at that moment
It's gonna
no
change.
longer existed.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
That's right.
I mean, I tell people all the time, you guys don't realize when we traveled with the Hoopsters, how many times were we, like you said, running through or not even running? As long as we'd send a rookie,
Yeah.
go stop that plane, and the rest of us are just kind of chilling. And of course, I'm walking with Michael Irvin and them guys, so I'm with them, so I don't care. I'm walking too. And people are like, "That plane is going to leave you." Oh no, it's not. Don't worry, it'll be there when we
Yeah,
get there.
it'll
and
stop.
they would hold it up,
It'll
or
stop
they'd bring
when
it
they stop.
back.
They sure
People
will.
don't believe me.
It's the craziest. It was the craziest thing. It's it's like when people started driving a car. It's like, yeah, they drive cars on the road now. Yeah, they do. Do they? Yeah, we used to stop planes. We stopped trains, and we used to stop automobiles.
Yes.
Planes, trains, and automobiles wielded to our will.
Yes.
As long as you had the right people asking. Obviously, I wasn't one of them, but it was nice to have that company.
I'll tell you one thing. Remember that time we were going to El Paso? We are going to do a game. It may have been even for, God bless her soul, your sister. I don't remember. But we were going to El Paso to do a game, and you had your helmet under the seat. Ain't no way that would pass now.
No,
there's no way.
No,
there's
I had.
No way.
Yeah. You just had.
They would tell you, no, you got to pack that.
Man. There's so many things that now I look back, especially as an Army brat and living where we were living and running who I was running with, who I'm sure we will get to in a second. That we all have these experiences, but this is a great day of reflection. Obviously, what heals all wounds is having success and things that uplift your spirit, and this current effort that I think we are seeing right now is a good uplifter, but it's a great day of reflection.
Yes.
Nam yam nam reikio. I hear you over there, Billy. But yeah, it's a reflection of everything we do. From the time that you grow up, I mean, my family's always been in my corner. You go to high school, you got the coaches that start trying to get you right for your life journeys. I go to Florida A&M on a track scholarship.
So did you know who Nate was at the time?
No, because Nate, I knew who he was when I got there, but he was already gone.
Right, yeah.
So I knew who he was when he got there, but my main focus was I need them to know who the hell I am. That's my main focus, period. The bottom line is I wanted them to know, hey, I'm coming, and I'm coming right now. I don't care how I get there. I don't care who I got to go through.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's the thought process I had. I'm going into college at 5'9", 138 pounds.
Wow.
I only played in the NFL.
There, isn't it?
NFL and the CFL. I was no bigger than 155 pounds.
Wow.
But I benched 340. I benched 350. Wow. I squatted, and I was fast. And that's the main thing that you got to know about this game.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy was all about speed.
That's how we got to where we got to.
Speed and grit, baby.
Yeah, speed kills.
That
was Jimmy's motto there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Florida, and of course he was coming from Florida. That's what he did. So he knew about the Florida boys. You always would hear about the Florida
mentality,
boys.
man. He knew you had the mentality.
The mentality was everything was built around speed. You had to be fast.
You played with Tim Daniels, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. At that particular time, FAMU, we had 4 receivers, and we all best friends. They call us the 4 Horsemen. Tim Daniel, myself, Tyrone Davis, and J.R. Reed. We all ran 4.3 and under.
Wow.
I ran a 4.24. Tim, I think, ran a 4.2, 4.25, 4.26. I'm gonna give him that. Jr. He ran a 4.24, and TD ran about a 4.28 or somewhere now. So we had 4 guys on the team, but he wasn't playing us like that. So that was a sword in my back, from coming from that era, because at that particular time, we practiced against Florida State all day, every summer. This is what we did. Dion, Dexter Carter, Bouger, which is Corey Fuller,
Corey Fuller.
Yeah, I mean,
Corey Fuller.
Yes.
I mean, this is what we did every day. T-Buck. I went over to Florida State pro day. This is how bad I went. I went over to their pro day and ran the fastest time, and they didn't give it to me, but I don't care because it's only a second. I ran a 4.23. T-Buck ran a 4.24. Scout from the Washington Redskins ran up to me and said, "What position you play?" I told him wide receiver. He said, "You want to move to DB?" I don't want to hit nobody all day. That's not what I want to do.
You want to catch
You know
the
what
rock.
I mean? I got to catch this rock.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? So that's how that go.
Isn't Corey Fuller coaching with Dion's team?
I don't
Coach
know.
Fuller, ain't it? That's Coach Fuller, isn't it?
I think.
Nah, that's y'all talking about 2 different ones. The Corey Fuller I'm talking about, we call him Bouger. That was a cornerback from Minnesota, and then he wound up getting a big contract to Cleveland, and then he left Cleveland. Well, when Cleveland changed over, he went to Baltimore.
Well, right.
Yeah, so he was at Baltimore at the end of his career. So right now, I think he's the number 1 coach in Florida, in Tallahassee.
Oh,
at
really?
Rickers.
Interesting.
Cause I think he didn't won the last 2 or 3 state championships in his division, if I'm not mistaken. But he's very successful down there. Put it that way.
So Billy, I mean, we went through some times, man. I mean, when you came in '95?
Right.
What was the first thing you said when you came to Valley Ranch? I mean, what could you believe that in that locker room right there that we're looking at?
Right.
I mean, you were right over there next. You were actually to the right of Michael Irvin.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
right in that corner.
Yeah, I mean,
And you also love. They still call me the original '87. I don't know why, but you know, I know we're 71, but they still call me the original '87 because now I was fast. I wasn't that fast. I ran about a 4.3. You know, I was out there benching about 450, 470, squatting like 600. Mean as a snake. And my nickname was Wild Bill.
yes.
And Wild Bill got the party started. So, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of spots for me on the wide receiver spot. But, you know, I had to find a way or make a way
Make that team.
to have a way to make a check.
That's right.
And how that transpired was, you know, I'm going to do whatever I had. And God bless his soul, Coach Avizano, who I got recommended by Charlie Coe, remember the old coach, wide receiver coach from University of Tennessee, who was my coach at University of Pittsburgh, brought my tape down there.
Okay.
So usually you get 90 guys that come to camp. I was number 87, hence why I won number 87. Not that I had much of a choice, but I was third from the bottom from a team that almost made the Super Bowl. But anyway, long story short, I remember playing the Oakland Raiders, and he goes, man, for me to make a case, and this is for any cut day, I got to make a case for you. This is when special teams mattered, by the way. This is when this was that. This is when that part of the game was as important and got just as much
Yes.
respect as anybody. I mean, Deion Sanders damn near made his career not only as a DB but as a returner, which is special teams, and a lot of people have.
Devin Hester.
Some all time individuals that
Mine
that-
would be Gray from Detroit back
Yep.
in the day.
There you go.
Yeah, Mel Gray.
Mel Gray,
Melvin Gray.
yes.
Some unbelievable individuals that got it done, and as you know, Bill Bates, the Shark.
Yes.
This was the organization that respected and coveted. I mean, Bill Bates made special teams a Pro Bowl position, for goodness sake. So that's how important it is in this thing. So long story short, Joe's saying I got to make a reason case for you to stay on this team.
Right.
And they had moved me. I played wide receiver, balled out a little bit. Moved me to safety, balled out a little bit. But
Played safety.
I played safety. I was here at the Cowboys. They put me in a couple of games. I played against Denver Broncos. I remember they threw me back there, and I played safety.
That. You wear 87 in there.
I was wearing number 4. I was number 4, my camp number.
Okay. See, I
So
didn't know that.
I wore 3 or 4. What number was I? I don't know, man. But that tells you, we were banging heads back in the day. Our concussion protocol was go walk around, go walk that off, homie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Somebody get him some water and he'll be ready.
Go walk that off, and brush the dirt off your knees, and then come back and tell me if you're ready to play.
That's
because
right.
you can't make the club in the tub.
That's right.
So being a wide receiver, it's like, well, damn, I got to make this team. I'm behind on my rent. I owe money to people that I owe money to, and I cannot go back home because I turned down a contract with the Cleveland Browns at that time. They wanted me in my offseason. They offered me $140,000 signing bonus. I took the signing bonus of $1,200, which was $990 and something cent from the Dallas Cowboys. So I wanted to wear that star on the side of my helmet.
Yes.
And I remember that game, and it came. I remember I have the saying that a lot of people who know me know this. I lived my life like Gattaca, and if you ever seen that movie, I didn't save anything for the swim back. Nothing. I did not have a plan B. So I had made pretty much a decision, and I remember playing the Oakland Raiders, and it's all about. He just heard about that new fullback Chun who just got cut. He played 16 special team plays, and they and this is how important it is, and didn't make one play, and he's on the street.
Wow.
And that's how it works to this day. And Joe Avezzano told me, you've got to make a play. Well, that game we played in Oakland Raiders, I remember I caught, because that's, no starters are going to play. I think I had like a 100-yard game, and I had like 5 special team tackles, and I had the biggest mother hubbing headache for about a week because that's when I earned the right to become a wedge buster because I was cracking skulls left and right, and that's how I earned my respect in the league. And it was so funny. All my years, I don't, pretend to say I was one of, a receiver of any degree, but I was a football player who played hard, learned to deal with hitting, didn't love it, but I did it well. But it seemed like I put everybody who played next to me in the Pro Bowl, and I could never get there. Jim Swans, all these players. I was like, damn, all these people go to the Pro Bowl but me, and they're all next to me. No wonder.
Yes, I remember.
Anyway,
Swans.
so that was kind of my my introduction. And then when I remember walking into that Dallas Cowboy locker room, and I played at Pitt, so I already have the pedigree from Tony Dorsett.
Right, TD, yes.
Playing with the son.
AD?
AD was there when we were. Curtis Martin was my roommate. Ruben Brown, who should be in the Hall of Fame. This is his favorite team. I remember when I said I signed with the Cowboys. He sang, "Boy, that cat just lost it because I think he made his dolo, but he got drafted by the Bills. Yeah. I mean."
Nobody wants to play him.
He had the 4 champ. They had the 4 run, but he was at the end of that juice. They juiced the hell out of that, and all it was dehydrated fruit. There was nothing left in that orange. It was a wrap. Man. So it was an honor and a pleasure. Got to meet guys who were posters on my wall, friends to this day. Made a lifelong, and now, it's almost like what you hear. You win one game, you help that organization win one game, you always family. You help that organization win a championship, you are a family.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And so, Dave, you make the team.
It was different for me because coming from college, where I basically got through because of my speed, and I had some kickoff return records. At that particular time, the talk of the state was at that time Kevin Williams, who was a year behind me, and then me at FAMU. I had ran 3 kick returns back that year, my senior year, for touchdowns, and then I want to say he had ran 2 or 3 back that same year, but I still
at U of M,
right? He was at U of M, right? So my biggest decision was, I know I'm gonna get a chance. I'm gonna get a shot. Houston wanted me at that particular time. Warren Moon was there. They were running a run and shoot. Well, Houston was calling me. Well, I'm saying to myself, okay. The Canadian League was calling me. They offered me $5,000 to sign, and Houston offered me the same thing. Well, Houston had drafted 7 receivers, and at that time it was 12 rounds. So when the doors shut and the draft was over, then they called me right on. Come on, it was Halivac. I'll never forget Halivac. So I'm debating. I said, well, you know what? Rocket up here in Canada. So I know they coming to see him because they didn't gave him this big old contract. I said, well, let me go up here and show out. And that's what I did. I was Rookie of the Year up there for Hamilton Ticats. So
it's cold up there too.
It was cold up there in June. My dad came up. I never forget. My dad and Julius Adams, rest his soul. They used to play for the Patriots. That's my cousin. So him and my dad drove up from Macon, Georgia, to see me play my first preseason game in Canada, in Hamilton. Now, granted, this is in June. They leave there, it's 100 degrees. When they get to Canada that day, it's just for some reason, I don't know what it was. When they get there that day, it's about 32 degrees, the wind blowing, and it's raining. They ain't brought no jacket or nothing.
What world are we living in right now?
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, my dad now, that's one thing. So he done traveled all over the place, just like I have, in certain situations as well. But, just getting back to the Cowboys, man, look at here. It was almost like what Everson was telling you. I'm coming from a small black college.
Right.
The only thing I know when I get in here is that somebody gonna get beat. I don't care who it is. I don't care where you come from, but you're gonna get beat.
You're going all out.
So it was me against Kevin Smith, or me against Larry Brown, or me against Dave Thomas, who had
DT, remember
DT,
yeah.
who had some of the longest arms I
On
have
the
ever
planet.
seen in my life. Nobody could run with you that fast and still have their arm on the side of your shoulder.
Still touching.
Stretch on.
Still touching.
Like, you still touching. I know I'm running away.
Boy, look at him. Now when I'm telling you, he was probably one of the roughest receivers we had, because we came in together. I mean, roughest DBs we had.
Oh,
'Cause we
DT.
came in
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
DT.
No, DT.
I mean,
He rip the
because-
clothes off your body.
Yes.
He rip your clothes
Yes.
off.
But you got to understand too. I'm coming in. Not only am I coming in, Tim Daniel had already been drafted here. K Dub had just got drafted. He was the first pick in the second round. He was their first pick, so he wasn't
He was
going
the first
nowhere.
pick. Sure was.
Okay, Jimmy Smith is here. He just happened to burst his appendix in practice. So I'm on the
No,
team with.
Jimmy said he wasn't trying to hear that.
He went.
That's what Jimmy said.
No, that's what Jerry said. I think because he still got hurt on the field. And that
Jimmy
was the main
Smith
thing.
told me that Jimmy Johnson told him, "It don't hurt. I need you on the field."
Oh, no.
That's what
I
Jimmy
don't-
Smith
I
told
don't,
me.
I don't remember that.
Now, I
don't
will
remember that
have Jimmy
conversation.
Smith on the show.
Yeah, I
he
don't
can
remember
tell
that
it all.
conversation between him. I just remember they were saying, it didn't count. I was like, well, I mean, this is his job. I mean, I don't know what else he could have done other than die.
Hey, Jimmy Johnson, do what you got to do, but get on
But
the
he
field.
gave it up. He
Yeah.
gave it
I mean,
up.
he really did. He gave it up.
He
He
really
was here
gave it
2
up.
years, got 2 Super Bowl rings, and people really don't have a memory of him. Just
Which
like
is
they would-
unfortunate. And he balled. I mean, he was. I mean, because I know we talked about Alvin earlier, but Jimmy. I mean, obviously he was a baller. I mean,
Yeah.
they put him in the Ring of Honor,
Right.
or wherever the hell they call it down in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, yes.
But that. Well, let me tell you. That tells you the gravitational pull of this star.
Yes.
Because they back here,
Yeah.
and you would think you go eat down there. But, I'm in this, and I'm being, recognized, and you could make a play that he should be in the Hall of Fame,
Right.
with the numbers that he put up there, because he was balling out. But he's back here,
Right.
and that was the weirdest thing. And I'm like, I vividly remember how good Jimmy was as a Dallas Cowboy.
Yes.
But so I remember how good he was because
'Cause
we
you
had
saw
to
him,
play
didn't we?
against him.
Yeah.
In college.
In college, that's
Yeah,
right.
because he was at Jackson State when we was at FAM.
Balling.
So
Real quick on
Mm-hmm.
Dave Thomas, I talked to DT probably about, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. He's living down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, DT, you still got your Ferrari? He says, man, you're not going to believe this. I'm going to tell you the story, Paco. I said, all right, well, lay it down on me. So he says, man, I joined the fire department. He got on that quick. Because, DT's still rock solid.
Right.
He looks like he can still get on the field. So he says, I'm working in the fire department, and I'm just a regular old guy, and I got a lieutenant and a chief and a sergeant, and everybody loves me. But I get a call one day from the man downtown. And so DT's like, shit, I know I didn't mess up. Why is he calling me in? So he goes in. He says, yeah, chief. Well, what's up? He says, Dave, you like being a fireman? He says, I love it. I try and stay in shape, and I do everything extra for,
Right.
just to stay, to be a fireman. He says, well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Everybody here drives an Expedition, a Suburban. Pickup truck. And I just don't think it would be very wise of you to drive that Ferrari anymore.
I would have.
And Dave said, well, you said anymore, like up to the station? And he says,
At
I'm
all.
going to put it to you this way. If you want to stay a fireman, I'll be looking for you to be driving a new SUV. He went and traded that in.
You can't
Just
have
to
no
say-
fire red
Yeah,
Ferrari
to
be a fireman. That's crazy.
Man, that's crazy. Would you have done that?
It depends. He is
How much did you want to be a fireman? I mean, but
Come on, dog. You gonna tell me what I'm gonna drive now? Come on, man. Come on. Come on, dog.
You're talking
I ain't gonna
about.
change. I mean,
You're
I
talking
wouldn't
about
say
Florida.
that. Yeah, you are talking about Florida.
You're talking about Florida.
Okay.
So
Well, you're from Florida, so I'm gonna take your
you
word
asked-
for it.
I mean, you know, I ain't nothing, there ain't nothing surprising that I hear from Florida when it comes out of Florida.
right. That part.
People
That
eating their
part.
face. People. I mean, you know, I just stories you hear about Florida is just. I'm going to divert to you on this one.
Color, speed, and attitude.
And that
Colors,
Ferrari had all that. Didn't
We,
it?
you know, yeah, you done seen Mike dress, you done seen me dress, you seen Kenny dress. That's how we used to dress loud. That's what we did. Dion, anybody from Florida, most of the time you're gonna see them in something loud.
Yeah, y'all can get away with them yellow suits and
Yeah.
green suits and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
that type of stuff, yeah.
I just couldn't get away with that. I mean,
It was Neon Dion, wasn't it? I mean, it was
yeah.
Yeah.
glow in the dark.
I mean, if I showed up in a green
Prime
suit,
time.
y'all think I was a clown or something. You know, like where's your mask and shit?
Well, here's what's funny. If you go back and you look at it's 6 days of Sunday, and we play in Minnesota Vikings. And I remember 6 days of Sunday, and this is when we had this, and I think we had a game. We had this is the first time I ever made television, and I can admit it, it's on VHS. That's a tape that spins, and you put it into a big thing.
Yeah,
like
a VCR, called a VCR.
And it does a picture show. It's that long ago. So I remember 6 days of Sunday, we sitting there, and these Florida boys, it was Emmett, Prime, and Mike. They had the nerve. So I walk up there, and you always try. The biggest thing about the Dallas Cowboys and playing with Florida boys is you got to outdress everybody.
That's right.
Yes.
You try. When you showed up to the plane, it was none of this. Man, you know, these guys now were, you know, people came there to the nines, or at least
Right.
what they thought was a nine.
And I'm gonna ask you in just 1 minute.
Talking about the derbies, ain't you?
I'm gonna ask both of y'all in just 1 second.
Right.
Who was the best dressed on the team? But right now, we got to go to a quick.
Man, I'm about to tell you when they told me I was a waiter.
Speaking of Billy Davis, do you still have that number I gave you, Vincent Carrizales? Remember I told you anytime you get in trouble, that's the man you need to call right there.
Oh, Vincent?
Yes, Vincent, Vinny.
Let me take a screenshot.
I'm telling you, man. If 24 hour, hey, Dave.
That's the man.
I mean, you get in any trouble, you know what I'm saying? That's the man you got to call.
I
You
hope
go
I don't
down-
need him.
I don't
Well, I
blame
know,
him.
but if you go downtown and you're sitting in a cell and you start using that phone, look for VC 214-945-942-4500. VC come out, bail you out. No questions asked. Just tell them you know Paco. You straight. You ain't got to check in. You ain't got to do nothing. I'm gonna take care of you, bro. I promise you. And
Vincent-
don't say never.
I ain't gonna say never. But I'm gonna say hopefully no time soon. So Vincent, thank you for being there. Hopefully I'll never see you there.
Dave,
That's right.
you know, you don't wear that star on your helmet anymore, so you got to keep that number. I'm
I
telling
don't wear
you.
the
dog.
star, but if they bust up in my house, I'll be calling them because I can promise you somebody gonna get shot. That I can tell you.
Okay.
So
Well.
that's the main thing.
And now let's get back to what we were talking about. Billy, tell me, best dress on the team.
Best dress on the team, man.
You were there.
You know what I'm gonna say? The best dress on the team probably Darren Woodson.
Really?
Well, what I consider best dress.
I always thought he wore his clothes 2 times too small. 2 sizes too small.
but
Did you ever notice that? I mean, when he put on that white undershirt, it was
Well,
like
he was ahead
like
of his time. That man was already in skinny
It
jeans.
was an
and
extra
skinny
medium.
suits.
It was an extra medium, dog.
Well, he's ahead of his time. I mean, what do you think they wear now? I mean, that dude brought stretch fabric to fashion. And that's in the 90s. My God. Praise that man for having foresight on his fourth night. I mean, damn. So I'm going to say, you know, he was probably the best dressed because it was his clean lines. I mean, it was Mickey, you know, it was, you know, Joe DiMaggio. It was, you know, it was clean. It was classic. And then, you know, you had the contrast of the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
The Florida boys, they put color combinations that to this day make it look like they walking in 3D. They made, I'm like, is that dude floating in that plaid panel? What color is that? I'm like, damn, you know, I was sitting there, you know, they would wear some stuff sometimes, and it would always be, you know, and to this day, you know, you got to question some of the fashion combinations that you find. I mean, that's the first time I ever bought some I bought green Gators, y'all. I had to keep up. I bought some. I have them to this day. I bought some Maori green Gators, and
From Freeman's in Atlanta.
Oh man, yes,
No, wait a minute. You bought it from the guy that I would bring in.
yeah. But the same dude from Bespoke, he's from Atlanta.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Same
Yeah,
dude.
that's
This is
right.
the same
That's right.
dude. He's
Yes.
from- so it was just a sensory adventure every time we come to the plane. Let's just put it that way. My eyes are playing tricks on me. I had a Cowboys moment.
I would say it was. I'm gonna say it was just about anybody from the South or from Florida that came from down there, because we all did. We did pretty much the same kind of dressing, like Billy said. I mean, we were colorful.
Y'all weren't colorblind. We know that. Y'all were
we
color.
had lambskin, which Dion
Colorful.
had introduced me to the guy at Bright Creations in Atlanta and Freeman's. That's how I started getting into it. Yeah, the Freeman shoes, and we were in lambskin. You remember when we had it wasn't leather. So if y'all don't know what leather is compared to lambskin, it's the price. $400 per part. So the sweater was $400 and the pants was $400. So that's $800. It wasn't leather can get cold. You put it on, lambskin has a lining in it and it's soft. So when you put your hands on it, you feel like you want to go to sleep.
Okay.
That's the difference in lambskin and leather. But we had them colors, and them colors was going to be, from green, which I had the green alligators as well. That was my dress. I mean, I had the stigma of I just need to make the team. I had Alvin Harper, Michael Irvin, Kevin Williams, me, Jimmy Smith, and Tyrone Williams and Tim Daniel. Okay, that's 7. All right, well, Smitty got hurt, so it's 6. So this is how Jimmy did everything. Okay, we gonna dress 3. So I got to look clean on the sideline because I can't see me in the game because I ain't in the game.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So I had to do what I had to do. I knew I could play. They called me Cool Hand. They didn't call me that for any reason.
Cool Hand
When
Lou.
that ball touched my hand, you best believe it was gonna be nice, soft, and cold. At the end of the day, but Jimmy's thing was he gonna play 3, which is gonna be Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper, and Kevin Williams. Well, if one of them decided they might get hurt or might have to go out for a sucker, well, they'll split out Moose or they'll split out Jay Novacek. Yeah. So you got 3 receivers over here in street clothes and only 3 receivers dressed back then. We took more. We dressed more defensive players. So at that time, and that's just how it was. And when we partied, we all partied hard, but we all partied together. And just like Billy was saying, you can tell these guys are finally starting to understand each other and get together. It wasn't that I was the low man on the totem pole because I was never treated any differently. I was other than in the locker room one day when Jimmy said, "I'm not going to treat David Lucas like I treat Michael Irvin." I ain't seen what he can do yet. I know what he can do. So I'm telling you young fellas one thing. Be to practice on time and come to play. Anything else, I'm going to send your ass home.
And he did.
And he meant that.
He meant
Right.
that.
Through that
And
revolving
early,
door.
and on time and 5 minutes early.
Yeah, believe that.
Absolutely. And, and that loud part, see, I did mine in other ways. I brought out the Florida gene through my hairstyles. So
Yes, you did.
Yes,
I
you
did
did.
the Dennis Rodman before
Yes.
Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
I did all this crazy mess y'all hear about now. That's old. Man, I been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Hey, you know what? I was a T-shirt because when I came in here, I had a picture of me on my T-shirt. And it said Wild Bill.
Yes.
My shirt said Wild Bill.
Billy.
And it's
I
like
came to work one day and I see a blonde haired guy over my bed.
There you go. There you go.
I said, "Is that motherfucking Cisco over there? Is he gonna perform or what?" And they said, "That's Billy." I said, "What?"
Yeah, it is.
And guess what? Cisco performed.
Yes, he did.
every single Sunday.
That's right.
And yeah, I used to wear. It was a crazy thing. So I said, man,
But every Sunday you had a different.
you damn right.
Yes,
So
every Sunday
it
had
was.
different colors.
I was consciously aware of my place and position on the pecking order, and that pecking order, I needed to make sure my slot
That's right.
was going to be recognized by somebody.
Yes.
And I made sure of that, and it was. And this is all before this advent of all this, the look at me stage was much harder to perform
Oh, yes,
back in the day
definitely,
when there
yes.
was only one camera and not a million of them that everyone ran around
Yes,
with.
right,
I was
exactly.
like, hey, I'm over here like, man, look at me. So I did the blonde thing. I used to wear white contacts. And it's like, they'd be like, man,
Yes, I remember that.
Who's this crazy
Man.
dude walking through here? And he out here, and guess what? He out here banging heads too.
Yes.
I mean, he's not like just trying to be this prima donna. I
Right.
was out there like, when we leave and you leaving with the limp, because I have to, it's a week by week league
That's
when
right.
we played.
That's right.
And it is a testament that, like if you had a protocol and, I am being funny, but I am being, truthful from the contrast of how football was perceived and attended to in a lot of ways, was that now, I mean, they've got to be cognizant of your health.
Yeah.
Every step.
Every step. Here, man, didn't you just make the cut? Man, you ain't hurt.
That's right. Get out.
What I see is to determine how hurt I think you are.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
And there were days. I mean, I've had 23 plus surgeries in my life, and I had some unbelievable. Unfortunately, I am a veteran of the OR as I am of football, but there was a cost to be paid, and especially when you were on the most targeted team known as
In the
American.
NFL.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah. Now, let me ask you. You got your recognition from the suits, how you dress.
Mm-hmm.
You got it from the wild ass when you had hair,
Personality, hair, all that.
eye
Yeah.
contact. What
Right.
about our boy? You didn't know him, but what about our boy Nathan Davis, number 99, the crazy motherfucker that first he said, "Man, because our boy Demetrius Underwood was there too."
Demetrius.
Okay, but Nathan goes and he says, well, he saw you, and then he's like, "Man, I need to be recognized too." So he comes one week and he's got both his nipples pierced, and we're like, "Damn, that's kind of wild." He
That
says,
was wild.
"Oh man," everybody's like, "Hey, check him out! Hey, check him out!" And everybody's like, "No, that's all right, bro. Yeah, don't worry about it, Nathan. Just see what you can do on the field." The next week he comes. That son of a bitch has got his nutsack pierced.
I remember that.
Yes. And then the third week he comes in, dog, this is what I was told because I ain't checking it out. But they said he's got his wee pierced. I said, oh, hell no. Do you remember that?
He got a
You
Prince.
how you gonna
It's
recognize
called
it
a
on the
Prince
field?
Edward.
Whatever the hell you call it,
Dude
dog.
got a
I'm not
Prince
checking.
Edward,
I'm not,
and the only reason I know this is because it had a name. Edward. Prince Edward. I'm like, I'm not really up on my my British history. What is a Prince Edward again? Did he describe what a Prince Edward's like? Man, hey, whoa, hey.
that was crazy though.
Who got
Dog,
you?
how do you do
become a
that,
prince?
dog?
Yeah, I don't need to. I don't know. There's sometimes when you go and it really seemed a really good idea when it started, and you do something and it's like, man, you know what? He did that. Watch me do one up on this fool right here. Watch this. And you do something, you realize no one can see that, and then you finally really realize nobody wants to. Right. So what did you want up?
That's true. I know I don't want to see it.
Oh, hell no. Man, that's crazy though,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. That's a story you can't even tell your kids. Listen,
I had-
fireside chat. Let me tell you what I did.
Oh man, we had some crazy guys on our team.
That's what I like now that you get to have personality. Like you see all this AB stuff, and I completely get it. It's there's a lot of selfishness, but you got to be a little bit selfishness to come from a lot of places that we come from and separate yourself. So we're talking about distinguishing yourself. And there are some things that, can get away from you. So I never fault a guy, whether it be on this team. I always advocate, get your money. Get as much of it as you
I agree
can.
with that.
I don't care what. I don't care how it looks. What everyone has an opinion, but not everybody's toting that rock, and nobody's getting hit in the head.
That's right. And last I checked, I don't think it's the percentage has raised in it from 1% of college players that make it to the NFL.
We represent
now?
here 0.03% of the
Okay.
population that, or 0.003% of the population that has had the privilege of of playing this great game. There's a much longer percentage of that to play for this organization, and there's a much longer one that has played for this organization or even won a Super Bowl, much less been to a playoff.
There we go.
So when you create this understanding of the special experience, this is one of them.
Yeah, it's a great experience. We had, like you said, y'all had a crazy one. I had a crazy one. Charles Haley.
Hey, he comes up.
crossover.
He comes up
The
every
crossover.
every show. But real quick, let's go to a commercial, and then we'll come back and you tell you Charles Haley's story.
This is Jesse A. Montoya, raised on the streets of West Dallas. Started boxing in the late 1950s, making a promise to his mother that he would move her out of the poverty-stricken area. As a kid, Jesse would be one of the first in the state of Texas to compete against other African American kids during the lift of segregation and the beginning of the civil rights movement. 60 years have passed and Jesse continues to be a part of the sport. His passion for boxing has allowed him to serve as a trainer, a coach, a mentor, and a community leader, working with both amateur and professional fighters. Jesse has literally mentored generations of young fighters since the 1970s. He is recognized as one of the first Hispanic coaches in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, while pioneering the first inner-city amateur boxing program that has awarded him and the boxing gym that carries his namesake with numerous team trophies. Throughout the years, Jesse and his staff, that includes his sons Anthony and Michael, have trained many successful boxers, a program acknowledged by USA Boxing. This is Jesse A. Montoya of Montoya Boxing, a pillar of amateur boxing in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Here we go. Now, Dave, tell us about your Charles Haley story here.
Well,
Remember, he's still alive.
Yeah,
so
no
don't,
doubt. No
if he
doubt.
comes in here
Charles,
whooping ass,
you know
what
I
I'm
ain't gonna
saying?
say nothing out the way. No, we went in training camp down in Austin, and of course, they get to messing with the rookies, and we had to, take them out to eat and all of that. Well, I'm in the receivers group.
Right.
Charles Haley's in the defensive lineman
Right.
group. So he come get me at the receiver group to get up on that table and sing. Well, for some reason, because I didn't play one professional year, but I was playing in the Canadian League.
Right.
Okay, well, they're not respecting that like that. You know what I mean? So I get here, and he's just gonna make. I said, man, I am not. God, that's not what I'm getting ready to do, and you're not even in my group.
You told Charles that.
I told Charles that. At the end,
That was the first mistake there,
at the end of the day,
Extreme.
I got up there, but at the end of the day, Charles gave me a certain respect too, because I was not backing down, and the only two people came up there and made sure everything stayed in the same spot was Michael Irvin, about three people: Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper, and Kenny Gant. It's like, man, y'all know Luke crazy, because I'm not caring what's gonna happen. I just know you're not gonna get the best of me.
Right.
That's all I know. And them chairs heavy in Papa those too. So just let me it was one of them
I remember
situations.
Charles over the head with some weight. I don't know. Haley had something in for the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Because he used to come at me. I mean, this is funny, but yeah, I completely resonate with that story.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me your Haley story, because I'm fixing to lay one on you that you don't know about Haley.
Right. Haley was just coming. So Haley was in the so he intimidated everybody. So you'd be in there like, damn, that's Charles Haley. You know, Charles Haley crazy for real. And you'd be like, that dude crazy for real. Yes. I mean, ain't that like he crazy?
Yes.
But like, that dude crazy for real. Like, you know, like this is a work.
He
this
made
is
you think.
Yeah, this is a workplace. You know,
Yeah.
very sensitive situation. I mean, do I need to find an HR person? Like, so I'm in the locker room, and it's the rookies. So it's like me and Rondé Gaston. We all in there, and it's
Rondé,
and he's just sitting there taking a shower, and it's like when you're taking a shower, man, it's almost like you're like, is Charles back there? You know, you over there like, you know, it's a sensitive needs program, so it's like, damn, my needs are sensitive, and I know the man by hand is very intimidating. I can just feel him, and he would sit there, and you know, I don't want to put Charles out there back there, but he terrorized, and in that shower, he definitely made you know. You were a rookie.
Yeah.
and he added to your shower. Let me just put it that way.
And if he didn't do it to you in the shower,
Right.
you guys, I mean, you know, go on the field twice a day in the morning, you know, before we go to lunch, and then y'all go on the field again about 1 o'clock, right?
Yep.
And I'm gonna take credit for this. I got everybody to start watching Jerry Springer. Remember when Jerry Springer? They used to fight and everything.
You watch the
so
stories.
we'd all sit there and you may remember this, Billy. And Charles would come up and he'd just go, shh. And he'd jump, you know, it was easy for him. And he'd jump from table to table, and there'd be a guy sitting there watching, you know. Then all of a sudden something hits him in the head and he's like, and then
Charlie,
oh man, I mean, hung like a horse. He's hitting people in the head. They're like, man, what's wrong with you? Charles says, you like that? I mean, that big old thing just swinging around, man. I'm like, damn. And then the ladies, the secretaries, Coach Switzer and I mean, they would come back there and Charles would say, watch this. And he'd go and pull his towel off in front of them. And they'd be like, honey, I've seen bigger. You know, and Charles, he tried to scare him with that thing. He scared everybody else, but he didn't scare them old ladies.
Yeah, but you know, you always like, where's Charlie?
Yeah.
Where's
right.
Charles? Where is Charles? You know, it's like, you know, where's that at? And I remember, and man, we had some beautiful characters. I mean, all that was good fun. Now that you look back, I mean, it wasn't fun at the time.
Right,
I mean,
right.
The man terrorized me and terrorized my sleep habits. You know, I love the Dallas Cowboys, but I didn't love taking a shower to go home. You know, I would go home stinking before I go home. He's like, hey, is the D-line out and have they been excused? You know, I had to find out. So I remember, because it's so funny. The people I hung out with were all the linemen. So that's why you hang out with Tuanay. Because I remember with Tuanay, we used to go to eat crawfish all the time. And he goes, at Nate's Seafood. He goes, bring me a beer every 1 minute, bring me 2 pounds every 2. And I was like, oh man. So we go in there. I used to eat with them. We ate so much one season that I had gout. I had to be on like anti-inflammatory. So I was like, man, I got iodine poisoning, but it just reinforced. But that was the time you coveted because we spent that was brotherhood time.
Yes.
The off season, hotter than hell, eating food, drinking Miller Lights, and just having a great time. And it was a great time until I realized I was a rookie and I had to pay the bill. I was like,
yes.
Boy, this was some kumbaya until that there was a booyah into that my bank account, and we didn't enjoy the payrolls they enjoy today.
No, we
didn't. You know, stuff like this. It was a great camaraderie, and that's what led to what I do now, which is I'm the national director for NFL healthcare initiatives, which we really try to give progressive therapies like stem cell and all those kinds of things. So we really are creating a healthcare plan for former players, doing what we should have done a long time ago, which is create a platform for guys who gave up so much for the game, who may not enjoy the money that they enjoy now, but they should be serviced and honored for what they do. And it has been my new life's passion to ensure that, being part of creating some avenues for guys to have a better quality of life. And with that, we have all the regenerative types of options that are given guys, and we've helped quite a few people, including Lincoln Coleman.
Yes, yes. And real quick, we'll take a break, and then we'll be right back. Here we go, guys. The Cowboy House. In case you lost your Super Bowl ring, this is where you need to go. This guy here has got replica Super Bowl rings. Okay, he's got all. I don't know how many Super Bowls they've played already, but he's got all Super Bowl rings of all teams. He bought all the seats at Cowboy Stadium. I don't know if you remember this guy.
I do remember this guy. I have one of the seats.
Yes, and he bought the turf. He bought everything.
What's his name?
Chris Gordon. And I mean, you go to his warehouse.
Did he play?
No.
Okay.
He made his
He's a
money in
super fan,
Dubai
man.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes a lot of money. But you go to his warehouse, and I'm talking about from floor to ceiling. I'm not exaggerating. Floor to ceiling, he's got nothing but memorabilia.
He bought the stadium.
The only thing I'm looking for is I can't find. They stole my picture and they broke into my house. I cannot find our Super Bowl picture anywhere. That was the one where
The team picture.
Mike and Alvin were laying on the
Yes.
bottom of the floor.
I may have a copy.
Because Big E wasn't there. Because
The accident, yeah.
No, it wasn't because of no accident. It's because we had been out the night before.
Oh, okay.
He missed picture day. You remember?
Okay. Now I remember. Yes. But yeah, go out and see Chris Gordon. He's got all kinds of memorabilia. Stuff you can't find anywhere else.
That's
at the
pretty awesome.
Cowboy House.
That's nice.
Go by and see him.
I'm gonna holler at you, Chris.
I'm gonna be right behind him.
That's great. I mean, it's great to have a resource of authenticity. And that's authentic. And I want that because, as I recall, I don't know, I can't do math. My brain got kicked in, but it's about 24 years or so, give or take a couple months. The last house we won something in was the last house that he's selling it from. Yeah. So the seats they sat in was when you saw the last time, you saw some champions running around here. So I'm hoping and praying
Come back.
What that house produced, where God was seeing his NFL favorite team, has not been inhibited by the spaceship that they currently are enjoying, because
the mothership.
clearly God missed that memo. I'm just trying to figure out this. But we're praying for the best. We're praying for the best, brother.
Yes. Real quick, the Charles Haley story. I want to tell you, I used to feed Nate's dogs. Nate had 22 dogs. Mike Vick and all that bullshit. Like you said, Nate was doing that back in the 80s. The FBI had already picked up Nate twice. Not once, twice. The second time they picked him up, he tried to hide behind a tree. Come on, Nate looks like a whale. How you going to hide behind a tree?
My goodness.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Nate, you could have at least ran and dove in the bushes or something. He tries to hide behind a tree. That's like,
I didn't know Nate was that country.
oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man. I mean, so anyway,
I did, but I mean,
they came to the Cowboys and they said, one more time, and we're going to have to really pick up Nate, and it's going to be big news. So he needs to make up his mind.
We're going to be serious, right?
Yeah, and so fast forward, Nate comes to me and he says, Paco, I need you to take care of my dogs. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking, okay, Chihuahuas or something. He's like, no, they're pit bulls. I said, what? He said, yeah, they're pit bulls. He says, all you got to do is feed them. That's all you got to do. He had 22 of them. So I had to go with him every day for 2 months so that they would get used to me, right? So I go out there and I get used to them and I start feeding them. Y'all, when you guys would go on the field the second time, every day, I would take off to go feed Nate's dogs, okay? This time that I was going, I used to go down 35. I'm driving down 35 and it's pouring rain. It is pouring rain. Bro, I'm talking about, I'm driving like 30 miles per hour on 35, going out towards Copper Canyon. That's where Nate lived. I can barely see what's in front of me. As I'm driving on 35, I look over to my right. There used to be a dealership right there. I can't remember the name. It was a Chevrolet dealership. And I see this guy, big guy, man, and he's just running through the rain. And I'm like, look at that crazy motherfucker right there, man. It's pouring out here. And so as I start to drive by, again, I'm on the lane closest to the service road. I look over and the guy's got some writing on his sweatshirt like Dallas Cowboys. I said, shit, is that Charles? So I get off and I come back, go to the next exit back, come back. I pull up next to him and I roll down the window. I said, Chucky? He says, open the fucking door, open the fucking door. He gets in, he slams the door. He says, drive, motherfucker, drive. I said, what happened, man? He said, drive, come on, let's go, we gotta go. So I started driving down the service road and I said, where do I go? He says, just get on 35 and drive. So we're driving and now he's got me scared because he's dripping wet. He's been running down the side of the service road. Why, I don't know. I'm going to go feed Nate's dogs. I don't even know what's going on. I'm like, Charles, everything okay? He said, don't fucking talk to me. Just keep driving. So I'm like shitting on myself. Like, what, man, what's going on, man? Like, I'm really afraid, you know? And he says, you know what? Turn right here. And I get off and we end up going, I don't know what street. We get back on Coppell Road and it turns into MacArthur, I think. And we start going to the practice field. And I'm like, so am I taking you to the practice field? He said, I told you don't fucking talk to me. And he's yelling at the top of his lungs, like yelling at me, man. So I pull into the parking lot, and I don't know whether to turn in the parking lot or what. I'm just kind of looking for him to hit me or something, like I'm doing something wrong. And I pull up. He gets out. He says, hey, thanks, man. I'll see you later. Fucking goes inside the locker room. I mean, I sat there, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened, man? I mean, this dude yelled at me like he wanted to kill me. He's running down the side of 35 in pouring rain, and there was no explanation whatsoever.
Thank God for social media not working. Just telling you, boy, if y'all knew the truth, there wouldn't be a team of the 90s. I promise you.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, I just couldn't believe
Promise
it,
you.
man.
You know what? I think that's the biggest thing. Just like we're sitting here talking about this now. These are the stories that the Cowboys now need to be having some talks about. You know what I mean? You got to be able to depend on the guys next to you. You got to be able to have fun. I mean, when we played, we partied hard, and we all partied at the same time. If you saw one of us, most of the time you would see 20 to 25.
Cowboy Cafe.
Yeah, Cowboy Cafe.
That's for another day.
88.
That's for another day.
Woo, boy,
That's right.
Pearson's 88.
Pearson's 88. Prime time 21.
I got
Iguana
some
Mirage.
good.
Yes.
I got some juicy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to save that for another time. But guys, we appreciate you guys coming out. Billy, I may have you back on, Billy. I mean, you kind of know what you're doing there. You had a podcast at one time, didn't you?
I did.
Okay.
Top 50 in the country.
We may talk about that sometime. It was good. Dave, I
Radio
appreciate
Row.
appreciate you coming out, man. Dave, I mean, definitely anytime you want to, if you just want to come in and hang out, it's all good, brother.
We'll catch me every day.
Okay, all right. But guys, appreciate you guys watching. Next week we should have some goons in here, right? I got some big fellas, heavy hitters coming in next week. When I say heavy hitters, meaning like big,
Size.
6'9", 6'6", guys like that. But appreciate you guys watching, and definitely share us when you're out there. Tell your friends all about us, and help keep us alive. Sponsors, give us a call, 214-609-4008. Thanks.